In this video, we're going to be solving an equation of the form x squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0 by completing the square. And they give us a box that goes through the steps of completing the square, and we're going to see it step by step in the following examples. In one, it says solve each equation by completing the square. For A, we have x squared plus 4x plus 3 is equal to 0. And it wants us to format the equation. In order to format the equation, we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. So we're going to write this as x squared plus 4x is equal to negative 3. And now we're going to multiply the coefficient of x by 1/2 and square it. So we're going to take 1/2 of 4, which is our coefficient in front of x, and we're going to square it, which is equal to 1/2 times 4 is 2, and then squared, and 2 squared is equal to 4. And now we want to add this number to both sides of the equation. So we have x squared plus 4x plus 4 is equal to negative 3 plus 4. And now we want to factor the left-hand side and simplify. So we're going to have x plus 2 squared is equal to 1. And now they want us to solve for x using the square root property and write the solution set. So if we take the square root of both sides, we would have x plus 2 is equal to plus and minus the square root of 1. And then we would have x plus 2 is equal to plus and minus 1. And now we're going to subtract 2 from both sides. So we're going to have x is equal to negative 2 plus and minus 1. And then x is equal to negative 2 plus 1, and x is equal to negative 2 minus 1. And negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1, and negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. So our solution set is negative 3 and negative 1. In B, we have x minus 4 times x plus 10 is equal to negative 17. So to format this equation, I'm going to multiply the parentheses together. So I have x squared plus 10x minus 4x minus 40 is equal to negative 17. And now I'm going to combine my like terms. So I have x squared plus 6x. And then I'm going to add 40 to both sides. So x squared plus 6x is equal to 23. And now we're going to multiply the coefficient of x by 1/2 and square it. And our coefficient is 6. So we have 1/2 times 6 squared, which is equal to 3 squared. And 3 squared is equal to 9. So we want to add 9 to both sides of the equation. So we get x squared plus 6x plus 9 is equal to 23 plus 9. And then they want us to factor the left-hand side and simplify the right-hand side. So we have x squared plus 6x plus 9 can be written as x plus 3 squared, and that's equal to 32. And they want us to solve for x using the square root property and write the solution set. So we're going to take the square root of both sides, and we get x plus 3 is equal to plus and minus the square root of 32. And now I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. So I'm going to have x is equal to negative 3. And I'm also going to rewrite the square root of 32 as 4 times the square root of 2. Remember, we can write the square root of 32 as the square root of 16 times the square root of 2, and then the square root of 16 is 4. So we have negative 3 plus or minus 4 times the square root of 2. So our solution set is going to be negative 3 minus 4 square root of 2, and negative 3 plus 4 times the square root of 2. In C, we have x squared is equal to 4 minus 7x. And in order to format the equation in this problem, we're going to add 7x to both sides. So we have x squared plus 7x is equal to 4. And now we're going to multiply the coefficient of x by 1/2 and square it. So we have 1/2 times 7 squared, which is equal to 7/2 squared, and that's equal to 49 over 4. And they want us to add this number to both sides of the equation. So we have x squared plus 7x plus 49 divided by 4 is equal to 4 plus 49 over 4. And now they want us to factor the left-hand side and simplify the right-hand side. So we have x plus 7/2 squared is equal to, and 4 can be written as 16 over 4, and 16 plus 49 is equal to 65, all divided by 4. And now they want us to solve for x using the square root property and write the solution set. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So I have x plus 7/2 is equal to plus and minus the square root of 65 divided by 4. And then I'm going to subtract 7/2 from both sides. So I have x is equal to negative 7/2 plus and minus, and we can write the square root of 65 over 4 as the square root of 65 divided by 2. So our solution set is going to be negative 7 plus the square root of 65 divided by 2, and negative 7 minus the square root of 65 divided by 2. In D, we have x squared minus 3/4 x minus 1/2 is equal to 0. And the first thing we want to do is format the equation. So we're going to add 1/2 to both sides. So we have x squared minus 3/4 x is equal to 1/2. And now they want us to multiply the coefficient of x by 1/2 and square it. So we have 1/2 times 3/4 squared, which is equal to 3/8 squared. And 3/8 squared is equal to 9 over 64. And now they want us to add this number to both sides. So we have x squared minus 3/4 x plus 9 over 64 is equal to 1/2 plus 9 over 64. And now factor the left-hand side and simplify the right-hand side. So the left-hand side factors to x minus 3/8 squared, and that's equal to 1/2 plus 9 over 64. 1/2 can be written as 32 over 64, and 32 plus 9 is 41, divided by 64. And now they want us to solve for x using the square root property and write a solution set. So the first thing we're going to do is take the square root of both sides, and we get x minus 3/8 is equal to plus and minus the square root of 41 divided by 64. And now we're going to add 3/8 to both sides. So we have x is equal to 3/8 plus and minus the square root of 41 over 64 can be written as the square root of 41 divided by 8. So our solution set is 3 plus the square root of 41 divided by 8, and 3 minus the square root of 41 divided by 8. And that's all for this video on solving an equation of the form x squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0 by completing the square.